Hello, it's John Lord here, and I wanted a video on weed control again, various bits of weed control, and a bit of planting, and some planting that I'd already done. I just show you why I did it, and etc, etc. And I'd like to thank all the nice comments I've been getting. I generally don't answer them because I am not really great at the internet. I thought after 2000, I sort of thought that would be the end of it, but just keep developing it, you know. Alice, who I'm not great with names, who came in today with her husband from England to see me. I haven't watched my videos. Hello, Alice. And then I had a lovely woman in 2 weeks ago from Virginia, and I thought she came from Virginia in Cavan, but actually there's another Virginia, believe it or not, in America. She came from the one in America. Very popular name, that. But anyway, I'm pleased. I'm a bit sort of embarrassed, really. You know, that all I do is just do videos and mess around a bit. And I was told to look at the camera more, but it's not a camera, it's a mobile phone. But okay, I want to start here. We have us a big problem. This is a bamboo. We sell these bamboos. It's Phyllostachys aureosulcata, which means golden stem, and I think it's a variety called Spectabilis. We get them from Italy. And look at this. It's riddled with bindweed. It's the one that grows up. And let me have a look. I never knew this. It's anti-clockwise. Bindweed. It's anti-clockwise. It's not that much. I think it's anti-clockwise. Now, what a lot of people would do is they would pull all the bindweed, every bit of bindweed away, and then sell the plant. And then the bindweed comes up. And the first year, not too much. Second year, a bit worse. After about 5 years, if it gets through say you made a bamboo fence and it would run through the bamboo, and how do you dig bindweed out of bamboo? You can't. With digging out the bamboo's like as tough as leather. It'd be just a mess. Now we'll have a look and we'll see what the problem is. There's the bindweed roots all through it, wrapped around. And it's a lovely plant, bindweed, gorgeous white flower, and it's related to the sweet potato. And the bindweed has white flowers, trumpet-shaped flowers, and the morning glory is blue trumpet-shaped flowers, very closely related to the morning glory, Ipomoea. But we won't sell that. Now, what would you do if you have it in your garden? There's a number of things you could do. I've done before. I've got planted once or twice here. I've got from people. Rarely get it from a garden centre. You generally get it from someone else. And it actually came into the country on a plant a long time ago. What you do is generally dig it up, throw away the lot, plant and all, or else take it all out of the plant, but don't put the plant back. Pot the plant. Put the plant sort of in quarantine until you make sure you've got 100% they're gone. Now, the only other way is chemical treatment, and we don't really go down that route, but it's the only way. And what you would have to do is you would either unwrap all the bindweed and put them on the ground and spray it. Very careful not spraying the bamboo. And then, or else you could get a plastic bag and put it all into a plastic bag, a transparent plastic bag, and spray the plastic bag and tie it up. There's a number of ways you can do it, but you have to be careful you don't damage the plant. And the most important issue is all weed control is to follow up. It's the little bit. If you miss 1%, that 1% is 100% again in 2 years. So you have to just keep at it. But as a general rule, if you get bindweed in, get it out immediately. Now, it's what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to bring it home to my own house because I'll take as much of it. I won't throw it out. Have a spot. I'll take it out. I'll take all the bindweed out as much as I can, and then I'll deal with what comes up, and I'll be able to do it. And I don't mind, but I won't sell it. I'd never sell that to the public. That would be a terrible thing. But there's bindweed. Same with ground elder. Ground elder is not a terrible weed. It was brought in from Italy, I think by the monks originally, into England, came into Ireland. I think it has some value for livestock feeding and stuff. But same with that. If that gets really, really bad, the only way to deal with it, and I've had to deal with it in all gardens, is dig the whole bed, deconstruct your bed. Really, really difficult. And it's hard work, and you have to have persistence, because ground elder will destroy your bed. And that's why, having as a young lad worked in gardens, day in, day out in the rain, wind and rain and snow. I've had to put up with all of that, so that's why I have such a zero tolerance and any stuff like that. People ask me, what do you do if you have binding in your garden? I always say, I don't have it in my garden, so I don't have to deal with it. Okay, but we always find it the hard way. But that's bindweed. Now let's see what's next. Yeah, everything is growing on really strongly. That was cut back a month ago, and it's coming on really well. That pampas grass. You still have the unsightly cut bits there, but some of the newer growth now will come out further, and that will just disappear. And weed control. This is a weed cleavers. When you pull this out, you have to go down low, because if you pull it up higher, it always breaks and a little piece remains behind. That'll grow again. If you have a dog, or if someone else has a dog who's into your garden, you'll always get cleavers because it comes in on the dog's coat. Sticky backs. And this time of the year, everything is filling in nicely. I like to use the secateurs. I close the secateur so it doesn't affect it doesn't blunt the blade. And I find it very good for Cretan buttercup. We have Cretan buttercup. We have, but you can't get that up. And we have another plant. We have avens of some sort. You have to watch this one. I forgot the name of it. That gives trouble if we let that take over. And loads of Cretan buttercup. So, and another plant for getting a lot of fennel. Funny thing is, if you want it, you can't get it, and if you don't want it, you've too much of it. We can't actually get fennel to sell at the moment. Nobody has it, and here we are, all over the place. So we'll probably dig that up because it's too much. So we have to get rid of this here, get rid of this here, and that's the Aruncus, which is a gorgeous plant. Aruncus dioicus. Unfortunately, it starts to the seed everywhere, and a lot of people will have no trouble taking out weeds, but if it's not a weed, they say, oh, I leave it, and then it becomes a mess. So we take up the Aruncus. So we sell it as well, funnily enough. If we had time, we would pot them. Terrible pity. But the Geranium. And here we have the Aruncus, and it looks very similar to the Astilbe. You see the problem? And here we have the Aruncus growing through Joe Pyeweed. Now the Joe Pyeweed is a bully, so one bully fight another bully, let them at it. That's weed control. Now, yes, Chelsea chop. Do a Chelsea chop. That's goldenrod, Solidago. A lot of people who maybe garden in drier climes wouldn't have to Chelsea chop that, but this, we have so much rain, stuff grows so lush, falls over. So Chelsea chop. Maybe another week's time, but we do this. That's just a bit to show. And I find it's just as handy to do bit by bit, because if you cut the whole lot off, to take it all out. Okay, that's that Chelsea chop. That's the start, but we do it in a week's time. And this is one we're going to do now. This is Veronicastrum. Super plant. And we have to Chelsea chop it. And it looks very strange. This one you have to Chelsea chop it above a wall of leaves, and you end up with this, and it looks very strange. But what happens is lots of growth comes on there, and in about 2 weeks time it just looks normal but tighter. And it's this is I haven't got the name. I have the name somewhere. This is the most amazing Veronicastrum. Really, really good. And one year, the first year I didn't try to chop it and it fell over, and then I tried to tie it up and it was right mess. So it has to be done. Maybe you could leave another week. Go down maybe 2 whorls. Now what else? Yes, we'll have a quick look at one of my favourite plants. Just by accident, I got them as a job lot in Belgium actually, and didn't really sell them. I stuck a few of them around the place. That's it. I mentioned it loads of time before. Look at that. Cornus, kousa, Satomi. I love saying that, Cornus, kousa. The Korean dogwood. And they are bracts. And that's the actual flower. And after that, after the flower, you get like a sort of a raspberry fruit, which is actually edible. Which is not that nice, but I presume the Koreans use it. Well, that's part 1, and then we're going to plant these here around. So we can knock off the video now while I walk around. And maybe it's nice to see. It's looking very good. Oh, look at that. Geranium Wallichianum, Bill Wallis. And I had a customer in last week who knew it. We never plant that. That's a seed. It's in the gravel. And she said that she had the blue one, but she'd love the white one. So we went looking. We got her one. Well, we hope it's the white one. No. I didn't mention the fuchsias that I planted. Oh, I just planted them about 10 minutes. Let me go on and look at the fuchsias first. I planted these about half an hour ago. They were dug out from somewhere else and we just stuck around the back for a few months. And they're just ordinary fuchsias. I have a problem with fuchsias in this garden. It's quite cold and they're very late coming out. So I just thought the two of the ordinary one, I think it's called Riccartonii, would just look nice. Just 2 simple fuchsias. There was a rose there. Wasn't doing that well, so took it out. And look behind here, the yew hedge, and it's putting on it's nearly up to the fence. See, it's new growth. Now I wouldn't prune that. I'm going to have to prune it because it's coming out, but I'll let it harden. The new growth harden in about 6 weeks' time. I'll just give it a bit of a prune back. But those are my fuchsias. I'm not mad about watering, but it's newly planted. Now, if it gets very windy, I'd have no problem putting a stake down here and holding that until it settles. But if it moves at all, you stake it so it doesn't just for a few months. By the way, the water's from our own well. But having said that, particularly in Ireland, people do a lot of overwatering in the gardens. As a general rule, water till it's established, and then more or less leave it alone unless you get very much dry spot, or maybe give if it looking a bit sad, give it a good drop of water. But you don't need to water everything. You can go and just maybe that might need water, maybe that might need water, but don't just go and waste the water. Even if it's your own well, it doesn't matter. Just don't spray it the whole time, and you never have to water. People say they water lawns in Ireland. Like, I mean, that's kind of like having an ice box in Alaska, or not Alaska, but really far up, when it's full of ice. And the Arctic, you don't need to water stuff in Ireland. Plant out there. That's done very well. And we have a little gap here, and we don't know what to put in. We have to put something small in. We don't know what. We need to put something in here or somewhere. We can plant all this up. We have the black pine, which has taken all the water out and sort of makes it acidic. We're just going to plant ferns. I half thought about taking the pine down, but that would be a terrible thing to do. Oh yes, plant up here. I knew there was something. We have a very sunny dry spot here. A pine tree sucking out the water and facing south. That's why we put these sea hollies in the video, and they're doing really well. Maybe funny, they don't need any water until maybe when they're establishing, so we just give them maybe one last water. Now we have a spot here, and I have my favorite, one of my favorite, our best-selling plant probably, Alstroemeria Indian Summer. Put two there. I like this. I had a chap in today, one of our customers, and he's really funny man. Won't mention his name. He's a really funny man, and he said to me, I was doing a bit of hacking, and he said, John, I was working during the week and I hurt my back. And I went to my doctor, I know the doctor, I won't mention his name. And the doctor said to me, what do you expect at your age? It's a wonder you're still alive. Like, I suppose he's the old-fashioned doctor that he didn't do patients' relations and those days in medical school. No, but he's a great doctor, but he thought it was very funny that when you get to that age, that's what you expect. Now, oh, we have something here. I don't know what it is. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, I think it's that pink evening primrose, but it hasn't really worked. So we're not going to try it again. The soil is actually quite wet. And you see, there was bark on the soil, and the bark is getting mixed now with the underlying soil. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it was. It was that. It's not doing the business, so it's up. Very fine Euphorbia. I don't know what it is because it invited itself to the garden. But it's very fine. And we leave it. I wouldn't have put it there because I think it's too close to the edge for its size, but you see, plants never went to design school. One there, and one there. And what we'll do is we'll look at one. I have one in full flower, and we look at that. We just plant these. Oh, look at what we have here. I was in the garden centre about a year ago. The chap knew me. I actually knew the chap's father from years ago. And he said, would you like one of these? It's Eryngium. It's a member of the borage family, and they're often known as, some of them are monocarpic. They flower once and then they die, but they have this massive big long flower spike. You get them in the Canary Islands, Madeira, and they're very popular in seaside gardens. And some of them can become actually a bit of a nuisance. They grow so well, but they're like but anyway, that's its second season, and it's done nothing. But I have a feeling that's going to go mad and be full of blue flowers, and everyone's going to want it, and we can't give it to them because we don't know what it is. Species. That's that. I always try to make it look as if nobody's been here. That's that. Now we're going to look at what I did last. We don't need this anymore. We leave this. Isn't it great with all the modern devices and all the modern everything's battery powered, this and everything with microchips, that they never improved on the wheelbarrow. And they never improved on it. 1,000 years' time, we'd still have the wheelbarrow. Hopefully in 1,000,000 years' time, we'd still have the wheelbarrow. Now, we're looking at planting we did last week. So here's more of that plant, that epilobium, or not epilobium, the Oenothera, which I'm going to take out and put some more of that Alstroemeria, but a slightly different variety. Yeah, we did a video here and we put in 4 Ligularia The Rocket, and because it's full sun, because I said that the ground was very wet. They didn't like it because I found out, I haven't grown it for years, Ligularias have very large round leaves, and anytime it was sunny they just wilted. So we lifted the Ligularias and put them over there. So we'll go and look at what they look like, and then I'll describe what happened here. Fully out, look. It's good, isn't it? Right. That's the Calycanthus. Might do a little bit of fruit. We'll just take a little bit off of that cherry tree that's overhanging. A little bit more light in. That was nice. Lovely. Oh, just have a gap here, and I got in some new Astilbes, and there's one Astilbe called Spotlight, and it's going in there. As soon as I saw it, that's perfect. Where we put them, and much better there, and we put another Astilbe in front. Where I don't know whether I mentioned it in the last video. That's that Persicaria polymorpha. It's a bit of a handful. What we're going to have to do, I think, is remove all of the plants and just have one, because it is just a total bully. Now, anyway, that's what was moved. This is looking good. But forgotten we had that there. That's Rosa rugosa. That's Rosary de la Haye. One of the double ones. Oh, here's a job we have to do. And this is going to be tricky. That's an aurelia up there. Big, I think it's devil's walking stick. It's starting to sucker everywhere, and it's vicious. Sucker here, sucker there, sucker there, sucker there, sucker. We're going to have to remove it, and I'm not saying will we carry out a little treatment. I don't know. I won't say that, but there's two ways you could remove it and dig out as much as you can the old way, and then any remaining that comes up, you can do that as well, or else you can give a tiny little spot treatment. Only have to do it once. Now, as I say, I don't really talk about chemicals, even though I started in 1973, and it was wall-to-wall chemicals. We did entomology, the study of insects, and at the end of the exotic life cycle of each insect, we were told what to kill it with. So we've come a long way since 1973. Was where if in doubt you could take out the spray can, but we've come a long way. So, and as a general rule, I don't use fertilizer, because not that I have anything against fertilizer. We don't need fertilizer. You only need fertilizer if you want to get 10 tons per acre or something of silage or whatever. But as a general principle, I leave alone. But if a situation like that, like the wild rhododendrons that are giving trouble in Ireland, the invasive species, they treat it with herbicide as well, but it's very specific. It's not a general thing that you do. So I'm not 100%, but I'm probably 99% against it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be 100% never do anything, because there's certain situations it's needed. But as a general rule, remember, public particularly don't not understand a lot of things about chemicals. As a general rule, kind of leave them alone, because they're not really necessary in the garden. We planted these instead, and it's a potentilla, a herbaceous potentilla called, I think it's either Glordonancy or Arkansas. They're lovely. They've got lovely, almost like a rose, the same family actually, like a small rose, but very vivid, yellow, red, orange, all mixed up. Really, really nice. Really, I just think they're going to be good there. And different leaf texture to phlox and the other stuff. And this is where we got them. We got them from over there, and we left the gap, and we had to fill the gap. And this is how we fill the gap. We got this erodium. Now, erodiums are like geraniums. They're close related to geraniums, but they're slightly different. So I managed to take this, get a piece away here, and we brought it out here, and we'll show what we did. That's the Arkansas there, or Glordonancy, the potentilla. It went all the way to here, and we lifted it and broke in 4 pieces and put them over there, and we took this and put these erodiums in their place. Now they are a little, I have to say, they are a little sad, but there's growth there, and that's the flower, a bit faded, and this is another one of them. That's a slightly different one. That's really good as well. I'll get a proper, I'm not even sure the species name of that. And I noticed something today. Uh-oh. There's trouble. Trouble. I planted that last week. Salvia caradonna, and I didn't water it. You can see. I'll catch it in time. But I don't know, I probably did. Now don't give it a little bit of water. Lots of water. I was lucky. It's lucky I did this video. And I also planted a few other things. This is what we're going to do. It's unlike me to make a mistake like that. There we go. This was planted. Agapanthus was planted. I see them water, nothing else. Just the ones that need it. And we planted this poppy, and it's doing really bad. It is disgraceful. It is doing really bad. I don't know was that my neglect, but and then they're very sad. And there's an orchid, wild orchid growing through it. And we're going to finish. Have a good finishing spot here. Look at this. Just noticed. The Welsh poppies. And here we have Paeonia Bartzella. And have a look. Can you see it? Well, what we do is when the Bartzella comes out fully, the poppies look a bit, just don't, you know, because when you have the superstar and the normal star together, so what we do is we cut all of those back. Just cut the whole lot back. All of these to the ground. And then the Bartzella flowers for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then it goes out of flower and these come back and flower again. So we give them a rest. Sorry about that. But the Welsh pop. Sorry about that, because it has to be done. Oh, no, we look at, before we go, we will look at the Alstroemeria to show people what it's going to look like in a month's time. That's going to be that. That's going to become that. I swear, Your Honour. I never tell a lie. Oh, look at this. Butylon megaponatanicum used in the sobriety test. Sobriety test? Isn't it lovely? That flowers for the entire year. Every now and again I get the hedge cutters too. Isn't that good?